Hey guys, Video Psych here. Now, I apologize. I am actually a little bit tired right now, and I was going to make a bit more of an elaborate video on this, but I do not have the time. But there also isn't really a lot to tell, so it's not like it was going to be that much more elaborate anyway. But over a couple years ago, I made a video based on Starpery, and talking about it. God, I can't talk right now. And in a nutshell, I wasn't really able to trust the store at the time, and there wasn't really an official review at the time. There were some reviews at the time, but they weren't, by anybody that was trustworthy at the time, at least in my notion. And it was also making a lot of big claims and kind of hyping itself. And I didn't necessarily see them as red flags, but it was kind of like, I don't know about this. Because the last time, there was some kind of, I would say, groundbreaking love doll industry that came out. They ended up being a complete scam. They were even stating shit like, oh, we're better than silicone and blah, blah, blah. And we're so realistic and this and that. And then, of course, they ended up being, completely fake. Not to, of course, that kind of technology won't happen one day, but it really did hype itself up way too damn much, like they were just way ahead of the curve or something. But moving on from that, so yeah, and I also just took a recent, look at the sites, and I can't really say that they are of my taste, at least not most of the dolls on this site. And when you look at the pictures, it just looks like they're wax dolls sometimes when you are looking at the pictures. But as far as how detailed they are, I would say they're at least more detailed than your average TPE doll. And when I was reading the review, when they first came out with the review, it sounded like it sounded kind of similar to I would say a silicone doll. Basically, it's basically like a TPE doll made out of silicone, basically, or something similar to it. Because just judging by their description, it sounded very similar to that in a nutshell. And so my thoughts on that are, well, if you are going to get one of these things and you like one of these things, then you're obviously gonna just want or like silicone love doll anyway. So you might at least think about getting something like that versus one of these dolls, because lots of silicone dolls actually have more detail to them than TPE dolls. And to me, these dolls just kind of look like wax dolls, no offense. But, if you like the look of them, go right ahead. And I otherwise don't really see any problems with them. But I would probably just look somewhere else. But that's just me. I understand if you like the look of these dolls, go right for it. I really don't care. But, of course, nowadays, it at least looks like it's a trustworthy site that you can go to. And I saw that they have kind of fixed up their, credentials a bit since then, too. And they have also redone, the description of the sites, which, after reading it this time, the description of the site is a lot better now. It's not as overhyped as it used to be. And I could tell that they're a little bit more honest now than when they first started out. But, I think sometimes when people are first starting out, they don't really know where to take, their business at first. And now that they know what they're doing and they've gotten themselves together, now they know how to put a description down. They have managed to find somebody that knows English and put a good English description down, etc. And, now they have a selection of dolls that at least look nicer than they used to at the time. I mean, and like I said, they aren't really what I'm that into, but it's at least better than what it was, from when they started out, and etc. So almost overall, they have gone kind of better over the past 2 to 3 years when I last talked about them. And again, they seem to be a trustworthy enough site to buy from since then. And with that being said, I'll just end this video. But I'm just I just made this video because, there are people still commenting on that video. They're like, hey, no, this is a legitimate site. It's like, yeah, I know that now. I know that now. They finally came out with a review like a year later, finally. But, at the time, there wasn't really that review there. And so that's the reason why, that video was there, for the people that are so confused. And I'll just end the video here. But of course, you guys want to talk more about it, etc., just leave your comments in the, comments. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.